World number 2 Roger Federer continued his strong early season form with a 6-3-7-6, 10-8 win over Russian Karen Khachanov at the Hopman Cup on Tuesday night. Federer was broken in his first service game, but bounced back strongly to win the match in 77 minutes and give Switzerland a 1-0 lead in the tie. Former world number 7 Belinda Bencic can secure the tie win with victory over Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova in the women's singles rubber. Federer started his Hopman Cup campaign with a straight sets win over Japan's Yuichi Sugita. And although he started slowly against Khachanov, he quickly bounced back to win the opening set in 29 minutes. The second set was an entertaining arm wrestle as both players produced powerful service games. But Federer finally cracked the Russian in an epic tiebreak, saving a set point to secure the win on his third match point, courtesy of a successful challenge. He might have all the tricks, but Federer has a reputation for being one of the worst judges on tour of when to challenge, and the irony of how he wrapped up the match wasn't lost on anyone. Federer couldn't look at the screen and the crowd cracked up laughing as the replay showed Khachanov's ball landed just millimeters wide. Earlier in the match the 36-year-old had made fun of his lack of success using the technology at the player's disposal. "I can't watch, it's too nerve-wracking," he joked. "He's the world's best tennis player, but he is the world's worst challenger," Basil Zumplis added in commentary for Channel 7. Gross moment in Cash comeback. Aussie legend Pat Cash made an unexpected comeback to tennis at age 52 when he went from the stands to the court to partner his pupil Coco Vangue at the Hopman Cup in Perth. The American's coach got his racket out when Vangue's partner Jack Sock pulled out of the mixed doubles against Japan with a hip injury, suffered during his match against Yuichi Sugita earlier on Tuesday. He retired at 1-1 in the second set after losing the first 7-6, 7-1. Cash's appearance wasn't the only bizarre aspect of the mixed doubles clash. Aussie teenager Madison Ingles partnered Sugita because Naomi Osaka withdrew earlier with an unspecified illness, handing Vangue a 6-0-6-0 win in their scheduled singles match. The Americans were awarded the Fast Four mixed doubles match 4-0-4-0 because Osaka was not able to compete, so regardless of Cash's performance, he was never in danger of having an influence on the result. "I got warmed up nicely," Cash said. "I had a few games where I'm in my peak and then I'm over it. And that was in the first 10 minutes. Then it was downhill." Cash had some interesting moments with the ball kids and line judges in the West Australian capital. Australia's Davis Cup captain Leighton Hewitt was also on court but on the opposite side of the country, partnering young gun Jordan Thompson at the Brisbane International. Unfortunately, the homegrown talents couldn't get it done against Grigor Dimitrov and Ryan Harrison, who won the round of 16 clash 6-3-1-6, 10-5. Awkward blunder mocked. Denis Shapovalov is one of the brightest young stars around, but he's not a household name just yet. That much was evident when he was welcomed to the court ahead of his first-round clash with Great Britain's Kyle Edmund at the Brisbane International. The man with the microphone stumbled over his pronunciation of the Canadian's name when he was in the tunnel waiting to come out. The 18-year-old saw the funny side of it, as did women's world number 19 Madison Keys. Canadian tennis writer Tom Tebbott and Australian scribe Matt Trollope both mocked the announcer for getting Shapovalov's name so wrong. Edmund withstood a barrage of 18 aces from Shapovalov to win in 3 sets 6-7, 5-7, 7-6, 7-4, 6-4. Murray's emotional post. Andy Murray is in grave doubt for the Australian Open and contemplating surgery on his troublesome hip after the former world number 1's withdrawal from the Brisbane International. The three-time Grand Slam champion was to be the second seed at the Brisbane event but pulled out after failing to train on Tuesday. The world number 16 had hoped to play his first tournament match since July on Thursday, a second-round clash with American Ryan Harrison at Patrafter Arena. However, the 30-year-old again succumbed to a right hip injury that has kept him out of tournament play since Wimbledon. In a lengthy and emotional Instagram post on Tuesday night, with a picture of him as a child, Murray said he was really hurting inside but would stay in Australia and decide his next move by the weekend. "I've obviously been going through a really difficult period with my hip for a long time and have sought counsel from a number of hip specialists. Having been recommended to treat my hip conservatively since the US Open, I have done everything asked of me from a rehab perspective and worked extremely hard to try get back on the court competing," Murray wrote. Having played practice sets here in Brisbane with some top players, unfortunately this hasn't worked yet to get me to the level I would like, so I have to reassess my options. Obviously continuing rehab is one option and giving my hip more time to recover. Surgery is also an option, but the chances of a successful outcome are not as high as I would like, which has made this my secondary option, and my hope has been to avoid that. However, this is something I may have to consider, but let's hope not. Barring a miraculous recovery in the coming days, Murray looks destined to join fellow Big Four members Rafael Nadal, back, and Novak Djokovic, elbow, in missing the year's opening Grand Slam in Melbourne starting on January 15. Murray, the 2012 Brisbane champion, posted a photo of himself as a child and said, "The little kid inside me just wants to play tennis and compete. I genuinely miss it so much and I would give anything to be back out there. I didn't realize until these last few months just how much I love this game. Every time I wake up from sleeping or napping I hope that it's better, and it's quite demoralizing when you get on the court. It's not at the level you need it to be to compete at this level." Sorry for the long post, but I wanted to keep everyone in the loop and get this off my chest as it's really hurting inside. Alarm bells were ringing for Murray when he made his long-awaited return to court and lost 6-2 to world number 20 Roberto Bautista Agut of Spain in a one-set exhibition match in Abu Dhabi last week. Then the Scot, initially expected in Brisbane before Christmas, delayed his arrival in Queensland in another indication his fitness was not 100%. It leaves the Brisbane international largely bereft of star power after the withdrawal of Rafael Nadal last week.